Science without nobility is blind. The core of Universitas Sebelas Maret logo, which is a head-like shape with a flame in its center, is described as wiku. The term wiku is Old Javanese, borrowed from Pali, meaning an educated noble disciple. The flame, or prabha, in the center of wiku's head represents the brilliance, wisdom, and nobility of the human mind. The flame also symbolizes the light of knowledge that shines and makes a positive and eternal impact on the world and humanity. Universitas Sebelas Maret, established on March 11, 1976, is one of the leading universities in Indonesia. Its noble goal is to contribute to the development of the nation through education, research, and innovation that benefits society. Universitas Sebelas Maret has built its vision and strategic plan on becoming an internationally excellent center of development of science, technology, and arts based on the noble values of national culture, focusing on enhancing its specialized subject areas and on developing its capacity to meet world-class standards. Universitas Sebelas Maret has established 3 centers of excellence in science and technology. The 3 centers are Center of Excellence in Lithium-Ion Battery Technology, Center of Excellence in Fintech, Financial Technology, and Center of Excellence in Javanology that focuses on the study, development, and preservation of Javanese culture. Universitas Sebelas Maret is located in the city of Surakarta, also known as Solo. Solo is a very comfortable city to live in, where Javanese culture and modern life combine. The life in Solo, which upholds the value of harmony, has prepared Universitas Sebelas Maret graduates to be future leaders who are tough, creative, friendly, generous, calm, and adaptive. To achieve the vision of Indonesian higher education, freedom to learn, independent campus, Universitas Sebelas Maret offers a variety of courses on a wide range of subjects conducted by 11 faculties, a vocational school, and a graduate school. Various library services, such as thousands of print books and ebooks, access to various international journals, and academic librarian assistants are available to support the teaching and learning process and promote the academic achievement of all students, lecturers, and researchers. With a comfortable learning environment, a green campus, and supported by an integrated information system, Universitas Sebelas Maret has an academic culture that fosters a global perspective and is prepared for Education 4.0. Active and strong international partnerships and collaborations have become an integral part of the university. International partnerships provide opportunities for student and staff mobility, as well as collaborative research and community service projects. In addition to being a center of excellence, Universitas Sebelas Maret is home to students from all 34 provinces in Indonesia and 33 countries in the world. This creates a multicultural environment that promotes mutual understanding. Embracing diversity and respecting all cultures makes every student feel recognized and valued.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Suwarna Lavaratina Iren Narson. I come from Madagascar and I study design communication visual. So far, my experiences have been very colorful. On my first semester, I have been through a lot of difficulties, especially with bahasa issue, but luckily I had the best and understanding lectures ever. They definitely accompany me step by step so I could be in the same level as my classmates. It's been 5 years that I came and back from this campus, but I've never got tired of it. I've been visiting a lot of big cities in Indonesia, but so far Solo is my favorite one. This city just amazed me by the way it looks, by its people, and especially by the sympathy and friendly way that Solonese people welcome me everywhere I go. I would say that I love living in Solo because I love eating, and food is just everywhere with affordable price, and I would definitely recommend Solo for anyone who wanna come to visit Indonesia. I'm very happy to be a part of this beautiful campus, and I also feel lucky because I could make my studies here, and especially I could meet new people from all around the world. Merci beaucoup, UNS.
My name is Walid Sulaiman Kalbous. I'm from Sudan.
Recording
I
in
feel
progress.
comfortable during my study in UNS because what I found from the international office, from my classmate, from my lecturer, the environment study, the facilities in campus, everything make me happy and creative during my study in UNS. I'm enjoying my life in Solo. Actually, everything in Solo makes you feel comfortable. The people are very kind. The food is delicious. The prices are cheap. The tourist area around the city, everything makes you feel comfortable in Solo.
My name is Yuzuna Mao. I'm from Myanmar. I'm studying Master Program of Public Health in Universitas Sebelas Maret, Indonesia. Studying in Universitas Sebelas Maret is enjoyable and it is a good atmosphere to study. I got so many chances to contribute in non-academic activities also, so it improved my knowledge about the social and culture of Indonesia. Of course, I have some difficulties during my study, but there are always some helping hands for me. Here I got experiences I think which I could adopt in my country when I came back. Solo is like my second hometown. People in Solo is friendly, polite, and helpful. I feel safe when I live in Solo.
The complexity of the modern world is continuously increasing. We live in an uncertain world where change is rapid and unpredictable. Universities have a pivotal role to play in preparing graduates for jobs that don't exist yet, for technologies that haven't been invented, and for problems that need innovative solutions.
Universitas Sebelas Maret has three main agendas toward a world-class university. Acceleration in various phases of development is needed by embracing the foundation of UNS, Benteng Pancasila. Therefore, 5 strategic policy pillars were decided.
It is important to understand that flexibility and adaptability are the keys to growth in the rapidly changing 21st century. This is what encouraged Universitas Sebelas Maret to shift its governance and management to an autonomous public university. With this change, Universitas Sebelas Maret will have the autonomy and independence to improve the quality of teaching, learning, and research in implementing the 5 development pillars of Universitas Sebelas Maret to accelerate its transformation process towards becoming a world-class university. Universitas Sebelas Maret.
Honorable participants, ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to you at ISAST 2024, the first international seminar advance in science and technology. This seminar is organized by Commission 3, Board of Professor, Universitas Sebelas Maret, Indonesia. My name is Albert. I'm going to be your host for this seminar, and on behalf of the organizing committee, I'd like to extend our gratitude for your active participation at ISAST 2024. Well, ladies and gentlemen, at this important occasion, please allow me to greet the Honorable Vice Rector for Planning, Cooperation, Internationalization, and Information, Universitas Sebelas Maret, Board of Professor of Universitas Sebelas Maret, the Organizing Committee, and also the invited speakers, Profesor Dr. Suranto Cipto Wibisono, MSc, PhD from Universitas Sebelas Maret, Profesor Dr. Sastia Pramaputri from Osaka University, Japan, Professor Datuk CHM TS Dr. Taufik Yap Yunhin from University Putra, Malaysia, and Professor Svetlana Ratner from RUDN University, Russia. Dear all moderators, presenters, and all participants, it is truly an honor that you are here and participate in this international seminar. Well, ladies and gentlemen, to start with, let us listen to the national anthem of Indonesia, Indonesia Raya. Thank you, and dear honorable guests, for the next agenda, I'd like to give the chance to the organizing committee chair to deliver his welcome address, Professor Sahid Teguh Widodo, SS, MHum, PhD. The time is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. To our distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome. Very good morning to one and all present here, and thank you for joining us at the first international seminar, Advanced in Science and Technology, the effect of climate change on food security and clean energy. The Honorable Vice Rector for Planning, Cooperation, Internationalization and Information, Universitas Sebelas Maret, Profesor Irwan Trinugroho, SA, MSc, PhD. The Honorable Head of Professor Board, Profesor Dr. Suranto Cipto Wibisono, MSc, PhD. The Excellency invited speakers, Associate Professor Dr. Sastia Pramaputri from Osaka University, Japan, Profesor Dato Chemis TS Dr. Taufik Yap Yun Hin, University Putra, Malaysia. Profesor Svetlana Ratner, RUDN University, Russia. Profesor Dr. Andes Suranto Cipto Wibisono, MSc PhD, Universitas Sebelas Maret, Indonesia. It is my pleasure to walk you through the conference and introduce you to the speakers and delegates who have come from all over the country today to share their knowledge and enhance our human resources horizon. Before we start the conference, I would like to express my gratitude to all of you who sincerely contributed to this event and made it a success. This wouldn't have been possible without the support of each and everyone present here. Today's conference has about 150 participants participating from various fields, making this conference a truly international conference in spirit. Thank you to all the committees, especially the Commission 3 Board of Professor UNS. Thank you, and join the first international seminar, Advance in Science and Technology. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Sahai Teguh Widodo. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like also to pass the microphone to the Vice Rector for Planning, Cooperation, Internationalization and Information of Universitas Sebelas Maret to deliver his welcome address and open this international seminar officially. Professor Irwan Trinugroho, SA, MSc, PhD. The time is yours.
Thank you. So, honorable all the invited speaker, Professor Suranto Wibisono from Universitas Sebelas Maret, Associate Professor Sastia Pramaputri from Osaka University, Japan, Professor Dr. Taufik Yap Junhin from University Putra, Malaysia, and Professor Svetlana Ratner from RUDN University, Russia. All members of the Board of Professor of UNS, the moderators and committee of the seminar, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera untuk kita semua. Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, Salam Kebajikan. Very good morning. So on behalf of the university, it is a great pleasure to welcome you to the first international seminar, Advance in Science and Technology 2024. So first of all, we thank the Board of Professor of the University for Universitas Sebelas Maret for organizing this particular seminar. My gratitude goes to all the invited speakers who will specifically discuss about recent development on science and technology, with particular emphasis on climate change and sustainability issues. We will learn their perspective with respect to these particular issues. And we would also like to thank the presenter and as well as non-presenter participant for contributing in this particular events. As we know, universities, especially in Indonesia, are facing a challenge over the last few decades with respect to the technological advancement. On the one side, people expect that university are not only producing scientific research paper, but also downstreaming their research into applied product, especially for helping the society and also for commercialization of those products. But on the other side, university are also pushed to transform its business process by utilizing technology in order to provide more efficient and effective educations that they deliver. So these two issues, I think, in line with the topic of this conference today. This seminar is also in line with the objective of UNS. UNS has committed to accelerate our reputation and contributions, both to the academic and to the society as a whole, not only at the national level, but also in the regional and international environment, as we are fully aware that in today's globalist world, contribution of university should be promoted to a wider spectrum. So by saying Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, this conference is officially open. And in concluding, I wish you a very fruitful discussion. And again, thank you very much for participating in this conference. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, as you know that ISAST 2024 marks a significant milestone in the global dialogue on ecological sustainability and conservation. This seminar seeks to address the pressing challenges posed by environmental degradation and to explore innovative solutions for building resilient futures. As the world grapples with issues like climate change, biodiversity loss, and resource depletion, this seminar provides a crucial platform to share insight and strategies for sustainable development with the theme, the effect of climate change on food security and clean energy. Therefore, we kindly request your active participation in this seminar to share your thoughts and ideas for a better future of humanity. Ladies and gentlemen, it's now the time for the first plenary session, as we're going to have the first two invited speakers, Profesor Dr. Suranto Cipto Wibisono, MSc PhD from Universitas Sebelas Maret, and Professor Dr. Sastia Prama Putri from Osaka University, Japan. And to make sure the session runs smoothly, I'd like to introduce you to our dear moderator, Professor Dr. Diah Christina, MA PhD. She is a lecturer and a researcher from the English Department of Faculty of Cultural Studies of Universitas Sebelas Maret. She completed her master's degree from School of Linguistics, University of Sydney, and her doctoral degree from School of Modern Languages and Communication, College Arts and Sciences of University Utara, Malaysia. Her research interest covers critical discourse analysis, verbal and visual branding, and storynomics. Ladies and gentlemen, I proudly present to you Professor Dr. Dia Christina, MA, PhD. All right. Good morning, Professor. Good morning. How is it going? Okay. Yes, there you go. Right.
That's okay.
Right, so Prof. Dia, you have roughly 1 hour to manage for the invited speaker presentations
Okay.
and also discussion session.
1 hour.
Yeah.
Because in my note, it's 20 minutes, yeah?
For the presentation for the
presentations,
first, and then the
okay.
second one 20 minutes, and the discussion. The rest is for the discussion.
Thank you for the opportunity.
All right,
Okay.
now the forum is yours, Professor Dia.
Yeah, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, participants of the conference or the seminar, I'm happy to be your moderator this morning. So we are going to have 2 speakers, yeah? And the topic for today, or the theme for today, is about food and food security and clean energy, that's for sure. I would like to highlight something about food that is written down by Virginia Woolf, an American writer. She says that one cannot think well, live well, sleep well, if one has not dined well. Wow, great. So we are talking about food, yeah? And food has a very important and significant aspect for our life. Again, about climate change. Yeah, climate change has been discussed in negative terms. But I would like to tell you about the positive sides of the climate change from Ban Ki-moon, former Secretary General of UN. Climate change is the single greatest threat to a sustainable future, but at the same time, addressing the climate challenge presents a golden opportunity to promote prosperity, security, and a brighter future for all. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished participants of the first international seminar, Advance in Science and Technology, ISAST 2024. Before we start the presentation from the 2 speakers, I would like to highlight a little bit about the curriculum vitae of Professor Dr. Suranto Cipto Wibisono, MSc, PhD. Professor Suranto, born in Surakarta in 1957, is a professor in molecular biology at the Faculty of Mathematics and Natural Sciences, UNS. He obtained his doctorate from La Trobe University, Melbourne, Australia, with expertise in botany or biomolecular studies. Professor Suranto Cipto Wibisono is active as an educator in the Biology Study Program, Faculty of Mathematics and Natural Sciences, UNS. Now, Professor Suranto, especially from 2020 up to 2025, Professor Suranto served as the chair of the UNS Board of Professors. That's the first speaker, and I would like to move to the second speaker, Associate Professor Dr. Sastia Prama Putri. Sastia Putri is an Associate Professor from the Department of Biotechnology, Graduate School of Engineering, Osaka University. Saskia received her Bachelor Science degree in 2004 from Bandung Institute of Technology, Indonesia, and Master and PhD degree in 2008 and 2010 from Osaka University. Her research field is the application of metabolomics for food science and microbiology. Yeah. So each presenter will have approximately 20 minutes, yeah, to present the paper. So Professor Suranto Cipto Wibisono will be speaking or talking about global warming and the need of superplants to overcome world food crisis. And then as a second speaker, Associate Professor Sastia is going to talk about, I think this is a new topic, especially for me, hoping that all of the participants have known already what is meant by metabolomics. So Associate Professor Sastia Pramaputri is going to talk about metabolomics application for quality improvement of important agricultural and food products. Here comes Professor Suranto as the first speaker. Please, you have 20 minutes to present your paper. Okay, the microphone is yours now.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor Dia Christina. It is my wonderful time to come to this such wonderful international conference. So, as you said before, that I'm going to talk my topic about global warming and the need of superplants to overcome the world food crisis. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is my first time to come to this such good international conference conducted by Commission 3, Professor Sahid. So before that, I would like to thanks for establishing this conference. So, this is my topic about global warming and the need of superplant to overcome the world food crisis. Probably you know that superplant can be determined by the plant that have capability to grow under unfavorable conditions, such as flooding or drought. But if you look at the condition at the moment, that increasing the world temperature could cause many problems in our human life today, not only for human beings, but also for plants and animals. Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change reported that accumulation of huge amount of CO2, CH4, and also nitrogen oxide in the atmosphere has been recorded as the main causes of global warming. Carbon dioxide concentration rising drastically from 280 to 410 ppm, and this one of the effect actually we can know that the effect of rising world temperature we can see especially for the sea level increase drastically from 21 to 24 centimeter since 1880, which occurred in the last 2 decades. On the other hand, temperature have risen at an average 4.18 during 50 years ago, and this recorded since 1970. And we, at the moment, also feel that the hottest temperature it was occurred at 2015, 2016, 2019, and also 2020. And now we can see that the temperature is still going on, and sometimes it's too hot, especially in tropical countries. Melting snow and ice also drastically increase in Greenland, an average of 207 billion tons per year. And also Antarctic lost about 148 billion tons per year. I do feel when I was studying in Tasmania University, it's close to Atlantic as well. It was in 1988. The weather is so cool, it's nice. Not like our country, it was. But now I don't believe that the condition in Tasmania is also cool like fall. And also in my country, when I was young, I rode to Boyolali using the bicycle and trying to make sure that the weather during the morning time is pretty cool. But now, I don't think so. Those occurrence of the global warming might be getting worse in the near future if all human activities neglected about the sustainable development commitments. Yeah. So, what we expect from this occurrence, if we don't want to make sure that our activities should make better the condition. So the sustainable development, as we consistent to our country, yes, we are going to make sure that our country getting better. But because the condition of global warming, human activities, subhuman activities can affect the agriculture activities as well. As we can see, that the agricultural activities are not into condition if we have that such unfavorable condition, rising the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, and then causing the planting time, our agriculture activities will be changing. Harvesting time can be changing as well. Usually we can harvest our product 3 times a year, but because the condition of global warming, then probably only twice or 3 times a year. Drought or flooding occur anyway. And of course, this will cause the product of agriculture or food or whatever. Yeah. So, consequently, the availability of food in every single country might be threatened. As we can see also in my country, in Indonesia, a couple of years ago, we still import the rice from neighboring countries such as Thailand, Vietnam. That's country in the past, like Vietnam, learned to grow the food, the rice from Indonesia. But unfortunately, now we are importing our rice from them. Yeah. This is the consequence of the agriculture pattern is not in the good pattern, like planting time, harvesting, and also, as I said before, drought and flooding occur everywhere. Yeah. So that's why one day world food crisis, food insecurity, starvation, stunting, overweight, anemia, and obesity might occur in our country as well. Yeah. So, what we can do then? Drought and flooding are the most dangerous natural disaster. It has occurred in our country as well. A number of times, a couple of years ago. In order to overcome the problem, a number of efforts have been conducted, including how to construct new species that tolerant to drought-tolerant rice. A number of experts trying to construct to produce new species of drought-tolerant rice, and also rice varieties for flooding areas, such as conducted by the government of Bangladesh, the institution of Bangladesh Rice Research Institute, and also Bangladesh Institute of Nuclear Agriculture have produced a couple of species, new species, that are very useful for us. This is a good picture, actually, that we can try to read. State of food security and nutrition in the world. This is actually, we can see a couple of picture. This is a good one. So, the presentation of world population will be threatened because of the insecurity of food. Yeah, not only occur in our country in Asia, but this is the world as well. Yeah. We can see in Africa, Asia, Latin America, and the Caribbean, and also Northern America and Europe. So, climate change and the rising temperature also influence the activities of people who work in the agriculture in several countries in the world. So this is also causing number of our people and also our son, that the number of people can be because malnutrition, starvation occur, and also obesity, and also anemia might occur in this country as well. So stunting is also a problem in our country. So by producing a number of good quality new species which tolerant to drought and flooding, this is probably one of the way we try to make sure the food in our country will be valuable for our Indonesian citizen. So, according to government of Bangladesh, we have at least these two agencies have resulted 5 submergent tolerant rice varieties like BBRI done S1. This is the 3 type produced by the government of Bangladesh, and also the BINA one, BINA done 11 and 12. This is also the new species that when we are growing in a submerged condition, the water usually occur in our environmental condition, but this plant can grow well and also produce the good quality of rice. This is the number of species that resulted by this institution in Bangladesh. So the Badoya 303 rice, this is the drought tolerant, is also recorded as a good news for our country, not only for Bangladesh people, but also for the country that also eating rice. Yeah. The development of climate resilient rice varieties, as reported by Davis and Robert in 2017, and also the new one. Recent report was also given by Grun et al. 2021, in which a good collaboration study have been conducted by IRI. This is the IRI one. Yeah. The Research Institute in the Philippines, couple of number of our friends also graduate from this Filipino university and working in this institution. So it's a good, probably a good idea. If we are Indonesian people, and especially our government, and we have BRIN at the moment, probably we are going to make again a good collaboration with IRI, because the New York University also make a good collaboration with IRI in Filipina, and this have been published in Lancet. So, constructing the rice varieties tolerant to both drought and flooding stress have already conducted. This is the good news for us. If we only try to make the new varieties from our country alone, probably not enough. With under uncertain condition or unfavorable condition, like drought and also flooding, 5 varieties tolerant to both drought and submersion have been released to farmers. But this is not for Indonesian people. Have been released to farmers in India. Sugardan 6, this is the new variety that should be tolerant to drought and submersion. So when the drought occurs, we can use this kind of variety of grass. But one day, because it's not good irrigation in a country, flooding also occurs. This plant can grow well as well at submerged area. So we expect not only India and Nepal enjoy having these varieties that tolerant to drought and submersion rice, but we one day probably should make a good collaboration as well with this institution. Nepal also planting the Shuha dan 6, Bahuguni dan 1, and also 2. This is also the 3 type of rice, a variety tolerant to both drought and submersion have been planted there. Accordingly, from that varieties, rice varieties improve deeper were also released in 3 countries. So when they are to try to plant the rice under deeper water condition, this type of rice also can grow very well. In Bangladesh, there are BRRI 19.1 planting in 2019. In India, they have Rajdeep CN 10399 and also planting a couple of years ago in India in 2017. And also Thailand. This is one of Southeast Asian member. That's the development of producing new rice in Thailand also developed very well. They have RD45 and have been already planting there in 2010. So we expect this kind of varieties, you can try and also can have a look. And if you are interested, you can have a look in this paper. This paper is very nice. The coalition of large and drought tolerant opinion on the development of climate smart rice. So please, if you have interested in this paper, very welcome. You can have a look at this news. And also, if we are going to have more information about flood tolerant rice, improve climate resilience, profitable and household consumption in Bangladesh, probably we are not aware that Bangladesh is one of the country that produce good quality of rice, not only consuming by having good lamb chop, but also they have good quality of rice which can grow under unfavorable conditions. So this is the way that we are also need in couple years time. We should have, for example, friend of mine, Faculty of Agriculture, it was in 1920 probably, the former dean of agriculture of UNS also trying to produce the saline rice, the rice that can grow in the beach. So this is, but unfortunately, before producing that rice, it's already retired. a couple of years ago. Yeah. So, what we wish in the near future for our rice farmer, yeah, we will be able to cultivate resilient, multi-stress tolerant rice varieties. This is our expectation. Because unfortunately, in our country, many people trying to eat rice every day, not only once or twice a day, but sometimes 3 times a day. So, because they all eat rice, we should make sure that rice should be available in our human life, in our country, and anytime, every time, yeah, people eating rice. The question is a good habit? I lived in Australia a couple of years ago in 1990s, and also have a look the habit of Australian people. It's not really people who eat rice every day, but they learn. Yeah, they have bread, potatoes, but notice they are trying to learn how to eat rice once a week. It's a good as well for us, for example, if we are not always eating rice every day, but once a week, we try to eat potatoes probably, or we try to substitute.
Excuse me,
with a good
Professor Suranto.
carbohydrates. Yeah? Yeah?
You have
Nearly
2 minutes more. Thank you.
Yes, well, thank you, Mr. This is the last one. Yeah. This is what we hear. We wish in the near future, rice farmer will be able to cultivate climate-resilient, multi-stress, tolerant rice varieties. This is very important because both cultivation of resilient crop varieties and adaptation of modern agriculture practices are very essential and crucial for sustainable crop production with the advance of the climate change. So, before closing my speech or my paper now, my presentation, yeah, I think it's a good idea as well. A good collaboration between a special institution who work in agriculture process, I think make a good collaboration with universities is also a good idea to do. So before closing my presentation, I would like to thank Professor Dia, Professor Sahid, and also Professor Pranoto for establishing this such nice international conference in the first time. Thank you very much. This is yours, Professor Dia. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Suranto. It was a very inspiring presentation from you. And I have also jotted down some facts among Javanese farmers. Yeah. Nowadays, Javanese farmers are getting very anxious because climate is no longer predictable because of the drought. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And also,
Yes, sure.
you are right in saying among the Javanese, we have a strong belief that if we haven't eat meal, if we do not eat rice, then we haven't eat meal. That is something that we have to
that's
change in our habit. Yeah. Thank you, Prof.
Should be changed one day, Professor.
Yeah,
I think.
I do hope. Yeah. Okay. So, 2 things that I would like to highlight from what Professor Suranto says in his presentation is that planting schedule has deteriorated by the global warming. Especially, this is a serious problem for the Indonesian farmers. And security of food will be a trigger for conflicts worldwide. And the last thing that Professor Suranto mentions is about new varieties of rice should be invented to anticipate the long drought. Thank you, Prof. Suranto. And now, before...
Thank you very much, Professor Dia.
Yeah, welcome. We are going to have the second speaker, Associate Professor Sastia Pramaputri. Her presentation will be related with a topic entitled Metabolomics, Application for Quality Improvement of Important Agricultural and Food Products. I do hope that Professor Sastia Pramaputri will be happy to explain the metabolomics. This is a new terminology, especially for me, and I do hope that all of the participants of the first ISAST 2024 will also have a good enlightening idea about what metabolomics is. Professor Sastia, your time is 20 minutes from now. This is yours. Oh, I see. We are still waiting for the presenter to join our screen, yeah, at the moment. So I would like to read a little bit about her abstract, hoping that everybody is ready for the preparation of following the presentation from Associate Professor Sastia Pramaputri. So metabolomics is the study of global quantitative assessment of metabolites in a biological system. Metabolites are the result of the interaction of the system's genome with its environment and are not merely the end product of gene expression, but also form part of the regulatory system in an integrated manner. So, in trying to understand more about this topic, I have tried to search in the internet what actually metabolomics is, yeah, because I'm quite new about this topic, so I'm trying my best to make a copy of this. Okay, so we are still waiting to get engaged with Professor Sastia Pramaputri. She is about to present her paper. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. While waiting for the presentation from Professor Sastia, I would like to invite questions and answers regarding the presentation from Professor Suranto. Please mention your name and the institution you are coming from. And I do hope that your question is short and to the point so that you will open opportunities for others to take parts. Now you can start writing down in the chat box probably if you have any questions regarding the presentation of Professor Suranto, or you may raise your hands if you want to. Okay, once again, participants of the ISAST 2024, we are happy to have your questions in line with the topic presented by Professor Suranto about food security and global warming. Or maybe it's a good point to ask to Professor Suranto about possibilities of Japanese people to change their mindset about eating rice, Prof. I think this is a good idea because as scholars, we need to introduce and educate our fellow citizens to change a little bit about their preference to rice.
Okay. Well, thank you, Professor Jia. Well, we are waiting for the second presenter. It is a good idea for us, especially for Japanese who eat 3 times rice. Whatever we are eating, we should eat rice. Yeah, you said if we are not eating rice, then no meal today. What we ask, so if we are going to introduce or to make a station to other people not eating rice 3 times a day, so we should make sure that we are trying first. We should do doing first. Yeah, for example, for me, it is not compulsory for me to have breakfast with rice. Professor Dia probably still remember we have a good quality of teacher in your faculty when every lecture going to abroad, we have to attend a special English course in your faculty. I have a good quality of English course. It's Mrs. Chinbrin from Australia. It was, every lecturer who attend his lecture in the morning, what kind of breakfast you 1, 2, 3, and then I said, yes, I'm eating my breakfast with soto. What is soto? And also another friend said, I am eating nasi pecel. But it is really surprising me when she said that we asked to her, what your favorite breakfast here in Indonesia, Mrs. Jinbren? And then he said, yes, my favorite breakfast in Indonesia is popo, papaya. Papaya is favorite breakfast for her. It's unbelievable for us to have breakfast with popo or papaya. So I try to do this as well. So I make sure that breakfast not always should be rice. So I could have my breakfast with papaya, or sometime this morning I have my banana rebus. Or we build the banana kepok one. It's a very nice one. So make sure that eating rice can be try to modify our habit, especially we are not having breakfast or lunch or dinner with rice. At least probably not suddenly we are changing. We are reducing from 3 to 0 or probably 1, but at least we can have only probably twice a day.
Yeah.
Probably not breakfast by rice, but can be substituted by another one. Fruit,
that's true.
Or probably another carbohydrate.
That's true, Professor
that's probably
Suranto.
what I have done.
I was also criticized by my landlady when I was in Sydney. Dia, why do you have 3 times meal having rice all the time, every day? Don't you feel fed up by eating rice all the time? Don't you have any varieties? Yeah, that's true. But we have to also think, Professor Suranto, that this is our culture. So to change a culture is not like we are changing our hands, tidak seperti membalikkan tangan. It needs a lot of efforts, and then people maybe, especially those who are working in the construction industries, they are working very hard.
A lot of energy needed.
A lot of energy is needed, and the energy comes from rice, right? That's the new thing, yeah, that we have to introduce to our people. Okay, while waiting for the next questions, then Professor Suranto, I think you know more about how Japanese people are very interested in predicting planting times.
Yep.
So
Yes.
they have a certain pattern whenever they start to plant, and then they have to start cleaning all of the grasses among the paddy fields, in the paddy fields. And then also there is a very definite schedule of harvesting. But now it's changing a lot. There is a very strong disruption. People are getting very anxious. They do not know what to do because the time schedule that they have for the planting has changed. They disoriented about this. What do you think about this, Professor Suranto?
Yes, it is true actually. And this occurred a couple, probably a decades, or probably a couple years ago, or probably more than a decade. The pattern of planting a time and also harvesting has changed a lot. And if we believe as the scientists, not only for people who work in agriculture activities or in the science, but also especially people who work in social science background. In the past, we have Pranoto Mongso and believe that we believe that because everything going very well, you know, no destruction of our forests, no pollution in our environmental condition, and the water is so clean. When I was in Australia, I also follow the field trip for my friend when I was taking my environmental subject. I live in certain suburb with number of students there, and also one day we are walking pretty far away from in the city, and I come across with good quality of lake, and a friend of mine trying to pick up this water, and suddenly he drink this water from this lake, and I asked to them, where did you drink this water? This must be dangerous. No, Ranto. This water is very clean. No pollution here. So this is making us, it's very dangerous in our country if we are trying to drink water from the lake or probably in the river. But Professor Dia, in 1960s, I still remember I can drink from the paddy grass. Yeah. I took the water on the surface one and I drink. There's nothing wrong with this one. But nowadays, can you try to drink this kind of water?
I don't have the courage now.
No, because many pollution there. Pesticide, too much. Have been used by the farmers. And also, probably a couple of years, I went to Karangajar and I said to the head department of agriculture, well, we only can grow the plant twice a year. Why? Because the weather is changing. The temperature is so hot. So drought occur in everywhere. So that's why the pattern of planting, harvesting is not expected as we want.
Thank you very much, Professor Suranto, for your very detailed explanation about how drought and the pattern of planting has already disrupted. And now we are going to invite the second speaker. Hello, Professor Sastia. Okay, thank you for joining us.
Hello, could you give me some time for 5 minutes?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Okay. So we are waiting for you with your topic on metabolomics application for quality improvement of important agricultural and food products. Okay, this is your time now.
Excuse me, the time that I'm supposed to start is 10 o'clock. Sorry, I'm not ready. So could you please give me 5 minutes?
Okay. Yeah. Actually, we expect you to speak by 9:20. Okay, that's all right. Yeah. Maybe you still have approximately 10 minutes, Professor Sastia, before we stop. Yeah. Okay.
This is a good idea, Prof. Jia.
Yeah.
Because I have to go to UNS Tower.
Yeah,
So
okay. Thank
I'm
you,
sorry
Professor
I
Suranto. Yeah. Your presentation has been very inspiring. Thank you very much. So we are
Thank you very
about to...
much, Prof. Jia.
Yeah. Now we are waiting for Professor Sastia to give a short presentation because of the time limit. Yeah.
Yep.
We would like to warmly welcome Associate Professor Sastia Pramaputri. I think there is a little bit misunderstanding about the time, yeah? The time frame is using Indonesian version, but then there is a little bit discrepancy among about this between Indonesia and Japan. Yeah. Associate Professor Sastia Pramaputri, hello. This is morning time in Japan, is it? Your microphone is still off.
It's in the afternoon. It's actually 12 o'clock. So, yeah, I was informed that it will start at 10 a.m.
All right. Yeah.
Now it's 10 a.m.
Okay, that's all right. Yeah, all of the audience are waiting for you because your topic seems to be a very new discipline. Is it right? About metabolomics. Yeah. So we are happy to hear about what you are talking about. We are going to listen to. So you have 20 minutes from now. Yeah. I have already read about your CV, your brief CV already in the morning, the time when we start this session. So I think it's 20 minutes for you, preferably for your own presentation. Yeah. Now the microphone is yours.
Okay, thank you very much for the warm welcome, and I'm really happy to be here. Thank you so much for UNS for your kind invitation. In fact, last month I was there in UNS as well to give a lecture. So I'm happy to be here, although still online. So as already mentioned, my field is metabolomics, and I think many of you are probably already familiar with the field of metabolomics. But please allow me to tell you a little bit about the research that I'm doing right now in Japan. So I think everyone here talk about food security in many ways, but how we take a look at food security in Indonesia is slightly on a different perspective. Because of course, for many, many years, Indonesia have been very much reliant on just very few crops in recent years. So I would like to highlight an issue about food insecurity in Indonesia, because as we are all very much aware, in the past, Indonesia is a very big country, many islands, and every region depends on different types of crops to support the macronutrients. But in the Green Revolution, maybe several years ago, there was a program to have rice self-sufficiency in Indonesia. Perhaps many of the seniors here remember such a program. And then rice becomes a symbol of prosperity. So there is a very big dilemma where we consider that Indonesia is a mega biodiversity country. We have many different types of crops, but then our dietary diversity is very low. So this is a very big dilemma and gap. So it creates a new problem because it has limited arable land, global warming and population increase. And now we are actually dependent on rice imports because the number of rice consumption in Indonesia continues to increase. So in Indonesia, most people are now eating rice, and even in the younger generation, we can hear if you don't eat rice, kalau belum makan nasi, belum kenyang, and then you are not yet full. So, but actually there are many food crops available in Indonesia that we could make full use of, but many of them are already forgotten. So this continuous consumption of white rice in combination with wheat-based noodle, it creates a very significant insecurity, because now, as we all know, that the noodle in Indonesia are mostly made from wheat, and wheat are mostly imported from other countries. With the situation of geopolitics, there's a war in Ukraine and Russia, we are also now facing a crisis. We are going to face a crisis in wheat if we don't do anything about it. So the food consumption patterns of carbohydrate sources in Indonesia between 2018 to 2022 is still dominated by the grains group, especially rice and wheat. But actually we have tubers, we have sagu, but the consumption is extremely low. So in terms of food security and nutrition in Indonesia, we are 65th out of 113 countries. And if we talk about the dietary diversity, it's actually quite low. In fact, among the G20 countries, we are the lowest in terms of dietary diversity because most people still highly consume just either noodle from wheat or rice. So this also creates a different issue that usually food insecurity is related to agriculture issue, food science issue. But what I would like to highlight here is that the food insecurity is also going to cause problems about our health. So the differences in the dietary diversity has already been shown to directly correlate with the increased incidence of diabetes. So with more people highly dependent on white rice and the consumption of white rice increase, we are also facing a very important problem, which is metabolic syndrome and chronic diseases also increase in Indonesia. And there are several studies indicated also in the Papua region where people usually before they consume sagu mostly and they convert it into white rice, and the incidence of diabetes there tripled or even 5 times higher compared to the 1970s. So this also will become a double burden. One is we are facing food insecurity, another one we are facing health issues. So what I would like to highlight here in what we have been trying to do in Indonesia is to go back to our natural resources, our bioresources, which are heavily available in Indonesia. It's abundant, but it's not yet widely utilized. One of the things that I would like to highlight as the main cause is perception. So many people think that local food instead of rice or white wheat noodle has inferiority. People think it's for low or low middle income families. So people are not attracted to this kind of local food. But if we could elevate the perception, if we could change the image to make it added value and it has different functions, then we could increase the image and the perception in our society. I would like to highlight one of the examples of chia seeds. I was informed that chia seeds is actually originally was a food that is commonly consumed perceptionally by poor people in South America. But then after it's being found to have very superior antioxidant activity, very good health benefits, now everywhere in the world is eating chia seeds. And even in Indonesia, we are trying to import a lot of chia seeds in healthy food supermarkets that are sold targeting in the people with higher income. So why not do the same thing for Indonesian bioresource? So there are many things that we can do to highlight this food insecurity. One is to elevate the perception of Indonesian local food by improving the sensory evaluation as well as the functional evaluation. And another one is we would like to also highlight the problem about post-harvest loss. So there are two issues in my laboratory where we focus on this food insecurity. Number one is we are trying to elevate the image of the local food by analyzing metabolomics research, metabolome analysis. We profile what are there in our local food. For example, one of my students here, a PhD student, reports for the first time copior metabolomics, or we also report for the first time tempe metabolomics study, where we comprehensively analyze the composition of food, including the metabolites that are often unknown or overlooked inside our food. The second research topic is we take a look at where food loss comes from. So this is also a problem of our food insecurity. We produce a lot of food, but we also lose many of them. So in fact, in Indonesia, it is a country with one of the highest food loss. And 1.3 of the world's food production is now being wasted. So if we consider the problem about food loss, it can happen in the pre-harvest, it can also happen in the post-harvest, and it can also happen as a food waste in the retail or the public and household consumption. So our research aims mostly focusing on the major causes of food loss, which is in the post-harvest level. So after being harvested, usually there's a series of process, the post-harvest, the transport, the storage and distribution, and the packaging. In each of the stages, the food loss also happens. So to solve this kind of issue, we take a look at what kind of metabolism happens during the processing of many different post-harvest, and we take a look at how we could limit the increase of this food loss state by investigating what kind of metabolites are affected during the ripening process, during the treatment of a particular post-harvest process. Then we could better optimize the post-harvest process in the field, in the farm. So this is one of the examples how we can also prevent a larger scale of food loss, because sometimes it also happens that there's already an infection in the farm and it is cross-contaminated during the distribution, and the infection spread during this kind of distribution, and we already export it or distribute it to customers, but then at that point cost of money has already been spent, but then we were unable to rescue the food that is already infected. So by identifying the early cause of infection before the transportation happens, we could prevent a greater loss. So the metabolism of food products are still active during following a harvest. And during the transportation period, the highly perishable foods such as fruits and vegetables, this is an easy target to get spoiled during following the senescence process. So what we do is we monitor this kind of metabolism after harvest, and we try to slow down the rate of this metabolism to make sure that the spoilage process can be slowed down as well and decrease. So why it is very important to focus on the food loss reduction in Indonesia, especially highly perishable foods such as vegetables and crops, because Indonesia's food production is very high. And if we could improve the storage, processing, and distribution process in Indonesia, we could significantly contribute to the loss of food loss globally. So I feel like we have a lot of food that are being produced, but it goes to waste. So one of the things that we are doing now in our research group is to do the metabolomics. So many different ways to do the food analysis, and I would like to explain a little bit about the concept of food metabolomics. I think many of you have already been exposed somehow to metabolite analysis. For example, if we want to measure the concentration of sugar, that is a metabolite analysis. If we want to measure the concentration of one type of sugar, for example, just glucose concentration, we call that targeted analysis. But if we want to take a look at classes of compounds, for example, different types of sugars, we want to measure glucose, we want to measure lactose, we want to measure fructose. So we are already expanding the target of metabolites that we analyze. And if we want to do metabolomics, we measure many different classes of compounds. We measure glucose, we measure amino acids, we measure fatty acids, and we provide a comprehensive profiling of metabolites. So what is it that we need to do this kind of food analysis? And how do we analyze food? And what kind of method is used for food analysis? And how we can use food analysis to reduce food loss? So of course, many of you are very much familiar with proximate analysis. This kind of proximate analysis usually just measure cholesterol, sodium, carbohydrate. These are just total protein. But in metabolomics, we measure the metabolites. So protein are comprised of many amino acids, and we could tell you more detailed information, more specific information on what are the quantitative information of different quantities of amino acids, fats as well. For example, many different kind of fatty acids, cholesterol, different type of fats. We can analyze more specifically and more quantitatively. And of course, it will give us more detailed information about the process of metabolism and how we could use this kind of information to do the research and development. So we can use this also to reduce food loss by understanding how metabolism work, how ripening process work, and what can we do to slow down the process of ripening so that the shelf life can last longer. So there are many food for thought that I would like to inform you about the food analysis. There are different standards in different countries. And if we take a look at, for example, countries with famine, countries with very limited food resources, in Africa, for example, they do not have very high standards of food because the most important standard at the beginning is just that it's safe to consume. Food safety plays the most important role at first. And in the science of metabolomics, we could analyze toxins, we could analyze pesticide residues, we could analyze very dangerous chemicals that are not good for human health. So this is related to food safety. The second one, metabolomics can give you information about nutrition. We can measure the sugar composition, we can measure the fat composition, protein composition, and we will know different type of nutritional composition in the food. And this gives us the higher standard of food, which is the nutritional quality. But in more advanced countries, it's not enough to just provide food that are safe and nutritious, because food is also a product of pleasure, a product of culture. So food also needs to taste delicious, otherwise people don't consume it. If they don't have any choice, then maybe, but usually the consumer will pay more price for food that are delicious. So this sensory quality is the secondary function of food, which is very important, and our laboratory investigate what makes the particular sensory quality. For example, we know that we have a premium coffee from Aceh, we have a premium coffee from Mandailing, from Toraja, but the sensory quality is different. We can tell you what kind of metabolite is different in these two different types of coffee. And we can tell you what kind of metabolites make the quality drop. For example, the off-flavor metabolites, the bad aroma due to bad post-harvest. If, for example, the processing of coffee is not good or the storage is not good, then mold will grow, moisture content increase, then afterwards there's a development of off-flavor aroma, then the quality drop. We can tell you what kind of aroma makes this quality decrease and what kind of aroma is actually desirable, and what are the metabolites that are responsible for that aroma. So this is what we can do also in metabolomics. But the most important thing was when it gets to a premium quality. So in Japan, they can sell fruits like Miyazaki mango. One fruit is 5,000 yen to 8,000 yen. It's about 500,000 to 800,000 rupiah per piece. And this is already beyond. It's not just food that is safe to consume. It's not only nutritious, delicious, but it has a very perfect appearance, and the taste is premium. And many times this food with premium quality, they also possess health benefits, so that this food can be sold in much higher price. I would give you an example. In Japan, there's a tomato that is the normal price. It's delicious, it's nutritious, it's safe, but there's also GABA-rich tomato. GABA is a very good component. It's a neurotransmitter to make you feel happy, relax, and promoting sleep. So this GABA-rich tomato can be sold 2 times to 3 times the price in the premium market in Japan.
Excuse
so the
me,
more
Professor
developed a
Satya.
country is,
Yes,
the
you have
higher
2
the
minutes
spend.
more. You have 2 minutes more. Thank you.
2 minutes. Yes. Okay. So here, the food analysis, there are many different types of food analysis to ensure food safety and food quality. So this is one of the ways where we can do food analysis. And of course, metabolomics, our research is a combination between bioscience, analytical chemistry, and informatics, where we could know the different kind of information of a particular food, and we can correlate that with the study that we want to do. So our laboratory focuses on so many different food derived from Indonesia. We firstly report the metabolomics of Indonesian herbal plants, shrimp, terasi, chocolate, coffee, tempeh, and various fruits. So if any of you are interested in the research of metabolomics, we could collaborate on the post-harvest aspect of metabolomics. We can also focus on identifying a very unique characteristic of our local food that we can develop it into a functional food product with better quality, with better function. We can also identify what kind of important metabolites so that we can improve the perception of Indonesian food worldwide. So I think that is all for my presentation, the introduction, a brief introduction about metabolomics and how it can be useful for the food security issues. Thank you very much, moderator.
Yeah. Thank you, Professor Sastia. I would like to highlight 2 things that you have just mentioned about the food security and health, related to the pattern of consumption of the Indonesian people who prefer to have rice than many other varieties of food. But I have something here that I would like to ask you, because Wendell Berry, an American novelist, poet, and farmer, has written down something like this. And it is one of the miracles of science and hygiene that germs that used to be in our food have been replaced by poisons. This is very sarcastic, but to some extent, sometimes it's true. I would like to have your opinion about this, especially for the, let's say, apples we imported from another country, Western country, which is coated with a certain, what is it called? A certain substance to make it, longer use. And that is very dangerous for human health. I would like to have your opinion about this.
Yes, actually, the problem of food security also highly relates to our planetary health. So planetary health is a very new concept that is coined when we consider the health not only for the human, but also for our planet. And when we consider food insecurity, and then we have to consider food mileage. Food mileage means the carbon that is consumed to produce our food. So if producing food comes from other country, bring it inside, definitely there's a mileage, right? The cost of carbon used to bring it. Additionally, we need to make it last longer, and that is also not good, like you mentioned, for our health. So having food that is locally sourced, everything that is perishable that can be sustained locally is the best concept. So that is why I think Indonesian people have to rethink about our food production pipeline, go back to our roots and our diversity, and each of the region that already produce many different kind of crops to utilize the crops that are available locally. Not only it's good for environment, but it's also better for health. Yeah. Because the next point that I would like to comment about your idea is that the ultra processed food now, right? To make the food life last longer, people are shifting from whole food to ultra processed food. Mm-hmm. This is also related to distribution and shelf life. But actually, we already know that ultra-processed food is not good for our health. So let's go back to eating like daily food locally that is a whole food. Back to before. That is
And
much better.
hopefully this will add to the welfare of the farmers who are planting those local food. Yeah. Thank you very much, Professor Sastia. Is a very inspiring presentation. But we do feel very sorry because of the time constraint. So questions and answers hopefully will be done online. Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you and see you next time. Ladies and gentlemen, participants of the ISAT 2024, thank you very much for your active participation. And I do ask for an apology if I have already mentioned something or say something that may be not accepted to your moral or ethics standard. Thank you very much. And I would like to return the microphone to the MC. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for waiting. We're still at the first international seminar advance in science and technology. So that was our first plenary session. We had Professor Dr. Suranto Cipto Wibisono, MSc PhD from Universitas Sebelas Maret, and Professor Dr. Sastia Prama Putri from Osaka University, Japan. And right now, we're going to move on to the next plenary session, as we're going to have Professor Datuk CHMTS Dr. Taufik Yap Yun Hin from University Putra, Malaysia, and Professor Svetlana Ratner from RUDN University, Russia. And I'd like to introduce you, ladies and gentlemen, to our dear moderator to make the presentation and discussion session run smoothly, Professor Insinyur Winnie Astuti, MSc PhD. She is a lecturer from the Urban and Regional Planning Program of Engineering Faculty of Universitas Sebelas Maret. She completed her master's degree from Human Settlements Development School of Environment Resources and Development, Asian Institute of Technology, Bangkok, Thailand, and her doctoral degree from Tropical Urban and Regional Planning Department of Tropical Environment Studies and Geography, James Cook University, Australia. Her research interests cover sustainable human settlement development, collaborative housing development planning, planning of creative kampung tourism, and poverty alleviation, vulnerability, and resiliency. So, ladies and gentlemen, I proudly present to you Professor Insinyur Winnie Astuti, MSc PhD. Big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Hi, Professor Winnie, how are you? Okay.
Hello, I'm very fine, thank you.
Great. So, Professor Winnie, you have roughly 1 hour for the two speakers, 20 minutes for the first speakers, and then the second is 20 minutes.
Okay.
And after that, we're going to have discussion. All right?
Okay, thank you.
Professor Winnie, the time is yours.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, thank you for the time, for the MC. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the second sessions of the International Seminar Advance in Science and Technology, the effect on climate change and food security and clean energy. So, as introduced by MC, I'm Winnie Astuti. I'm going to be a moderator for this session. So we know that the world has been changing. There are a global change and everything, the problems of climate change, biodiversity loss and resources depletion, scarcity and of energy, food scarcity in some places and etc. So in this session we will discuss about the renewable energy from palm oil, as this is the challenge and solution for the scarcity and the problems of energy scarcity. And in the second session, we would like to present the structure and dynamics of the global green bond market. So the ISAST conference is hosted by the Commission 3 Board of Profesor UNS. So it will intended to bring together all the researcher, academician, practitioners for solving the problems of sustainability. Thank you. In this session, we'll invite two remarkable speakers. The first one is Professor Datuk Taufik Yap Yun Hin. Are you there, Professor? Good morning. Good morning, Professor.
Yes, good morning.
Okay,
I'm
thank
here.
you. Nice to see you. Thank you for coming to this conference and giving the insight for us. Okay.
Thank you for the invitation.
Yes, he will discuss about the sustainable bioenergy from oil palm, and also the second speaker, Prof. Svetlana Ratner from RUDN University, Russia, which will presenting her works entitled ESG as a tool for climate policy, global trends and efficiency. Good morning, Prof.
Good morning.
Setswana. Okay.
Good morning. Glad to be here. Thank you.
Nice. Okay. Thank you very much. Nice to meet you. Okay. Okay. I'm going to lead this presentation for about 1 hour, and each speaker please deliver the speech, the works for about 20 minutes, please. And after all the speaker finishing all the speech, we're going to have a discussion for about 20 minutes. So for audience who would like to have discussion during session, you can raise your hand or put your question in the chat box, and I will going to read your question in the discussion session. So please hold the question first until the discussion session. So before the speaker delivering their works, I would like to introduce the speaker. The first speaker, my Honorable Prof. Dato Taufik Yap Yun Hin. So he was born in Kinabalu, Sabang in 1968. So he has earned his PhD and MSc from University Putra Malaysia, and earned the PhD in Manchester Institute of Science and Technology, United Kingdom. She got his professor on 2007, and he was the founding head of Catalyst Science and Technology Research Center from the September 2008 until September 2014. So he also a very high index researcher, producing 499 Scopus Index scientific publications, include various reviews on biodiesel, biojet, hydrogen production with very high index. I appreciate this is about 72. So he also awarded lots of awards as the world top 2% scientist by the Stanford University, USA, and also highest award gold medal for excellence in chemistry 2022. And also he is becoming the fellow from some academic science. Okay, that's a very challenging speaker. And the second speaker, Prof. Svetlana Redner from RUDN University, Russia. Hello, good morning. Okay, she got the she has the teaching experience from Kuban State University, Russia, and RUDN University, Moscow, Lublin University of Technology, Russia. For the professional occupation, she has a principal researcher as leading scientific project in eco-innovations management and energy transitions, and also supervising some PhD students. Okay, and 2010 to 2011, she has been the vice rector of Krasnodar branch, co-founder of business incubator Binte U23, and also co-founder and editor of scientific journals. Her scientific interest is in the subject of innovation management, mathematical modeling, energy transition, circular economy, eco-design, LCA. Okay, that's a very, very interesting, and we come to the presentation session. So please welcome for the first speaker, Prof. Dato Taufik Yap Yun Ying. The time is 20 minutes. Thank you.
Okay, Thank you very much, Professor, the chairperson. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good morning, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank Professor Pranoto and also Dr. Siti Khairia for the invitation to this conference. Well, today my talk is on sustainable bioenergy from oil palm. I'm from University Putra, Malaysia. Well, this is an oil palm plantation. You can easily look at this palm plantation, oil palm plantation in Malaysia as well as Indonesia as well. So overall, Malaysia and Indonesia, two biggest exporters of the palm oil, with Indonesia number one with 83.9, both of them 83.9% of the value of all palm oil exported in 2021. Indonesia is the largest with 54.7%, and Malaysia comes second, which is 29.2%. This is the area of Malaysia where the palm oil plantation. You can see that both in the east and also the east and also west Malaysia. And this is Indonesia. You can see it is concentrated mostly in Sumatra and also in Kalimantan. Well, this is an oil palm tree. Yep. You can see that this is a fruit, and you can see also the empty fruit bunch. Yep, this is very useful actually. We take out the fruit and you have the empty bunch, highly fiber, and you also can get the oil from mesocarp and also from the palm kernel oil as well. The content of these two oil from the mesocarp of the fruits and also the palm kernel, they have a different type of chemical content. Well, the palm kernel is more saturated as compared to the mesocarp, the normal oil, palm oil. Well, from this palm oil, actually, they produce a lot of biomass. And this is one of the focus whereby we use this biomass to produce energy. I would like to know that all this on the top there, all this biomass type actually solid biomass, and you have one watery or liquid biomass, which is from the palm oil meal influence, which is the wastewater come from the oil palm industry. Well, one of the most common biofuel that produced in Malaysia and also Indonesia is biodiesel. Yeah, currently Indonesia is already B25, is working for B40 very soon. Yeah, and this biodiesel actually come from many sources. Well, for sure, because in Malaysia and Indonesia, we produce a lot of oil palm, then this oil palm become the main source of the biodiesel production in both countries actually. Well, what makes this oil palm actually become so important in Malaysia and also Indonesia, because of the production of this oil palm is about more than 7,000 liter per hectare actually. 7,000 ton per hectare, yeah, liter per hectare. Yeah, so you can, as compared to other type of plantation, you can see that this amount is huge. No any other crop can compete with this oil palm actually. So we are very lucky of this. Well, we look at the production of this, the chemistry of the biodiesel production. Actually, we can go either trans-esterification or esterification process, which is very chemical process. Whereby trans-esterification process using the triglyceride mixed with methanol, actually same thing with esterification as well. They are also mixed with methanol to produce the methyl ester. Well, and with this glycerol as a waste for trans-esterification reaction, whereas for esterification, actually we get water and the methyl ester. Well, these two processes, yes, use catalysts, but for sure, the type of catalyst can be used are different actually. In trans-esterification reaction, you can either use acid catalyst or base catalyst, but in esterification normally we use acid catalyst. So I'm talking about this conventional biodiesel produced which using a homogeneous system whereby the reaction, the feedstock and also the catalyst are in the same phase. But this is the problem where you are using the same phase of reaction whereby especially using the potassium hydroxide or on sodium hydroxide, you have this saponification problem. Well, this is the basic technology. Well, we go for the heterogeneous system, whereby the heterogeneous system, you can use a cheaper oil, no catalyst washing produced, and in fact, you get a very clean biodiesel. Yeah, so you escape from so many unfriendly or environmental friendly process. And in fact, by using this heterogeneous system, we can reduce 40 to 60% of the cost of the production, because the main cost of production basically is come from the feedstock basically. Yeah, this is what I'm going to show you, that the difference between the homogeneous system and also heterogeneous system. You can see that the homogeneous system, you can see that it's cloudy because of the saponification reaction. Well, using a heterogeneous system, you can see a very clear reaction with no soap formation and high quality of the biodiesel and also the glycerols. Very clear, isn't it? Well, and another good thing of this heterogeneous system is that we can reuse ability. The usability is high actually. The usability of this catalyst is, you can use for many times, but it depends on what type of catalyst that we have and how we synthesize it actually and what type of material. Yeah, I have studied a few number of catalysts here. I'm show you some example. Calcium oxide. Why are you using calcium? Because calcium is very cheap and it's also availability is very high. You can get it naturally. For example, eggshell, for example, or any shell, other shell that been produced by any other seashell actually. Well, if I'm using calcium oxide alone, the reusability is up to 3 times, because on the fourth run, you can see that it's significantly reduced up to 6 times. Okay, but if I mix calcium oxide with magnesium oxide and also zinc oxide, we manage to run it more than 6 times actually. Okay, so we still get about more than 80% of the yield of the biodiesel yield. FAM is the fatty acid metabolism, is the biodiesel yield up to still at 80%, whereby we can make this catalyst life stay longer. Well, that is biodiesel. In fact, this oil actually, the oil palm, we can use for other type of biofuel as well. Transesterification is biodiesel. It's similar to esterification. It depends on what is the feedstock actually. If I'm using PFAD, the palm fatty acid distillate, then I have to go through esterification because of the content of the feedstock content, which is more saturated. Now we go for deoxygenation or hydroprocessing process, whereby to produce biojet fuel or sustainable aviation fuel. Well, yeah, this is the biodiesel, also the green diesel. The green diesel actually is the process is similar to the sustainable aviation fuel, going through the deoxygenation process. Actually, we just need to remove all the oxygen. So when the triglyceride, we remove the oxygen, it become hydrocarbon, long chain hydrocarbons. So either you can use DO, which is elimination of oxygen without the hydrogen gas, or we can go through the hydrodeoxygenation process, whereby we eliminate the oxygen, but with the presence of hydrogen actually. Yeah. So this is the chemistry of the triglyceride, where we can produce the biofuel, and this is the process of to produce green diesel and also green gasoline. There are 2 processes actually, decarboxylation or decarbonylation. Is depend on what we produce actually. One is alkane and one is unsaturated product. So we are going to a net zero carbon by 2050, which is by the IATA General Meeting in Boston in 2021. They have targeted net zero carbon emissions from their operation by 2050. So basically, one of the contribution of this carbon dioxide actually come from aviation fuel. So by using this sustainable aviation fuel, we can reduce number of production of carbon to the environment. So at least this SAF actually can reduce the CO2 emission by up to 80%. So currently you can see that number of airlines already using biojet fuel or biofuel. Started with 2011, KLM already started this. They have the world's first commercial flight, which is powered by this sustainable aviation fuel. And so SpiceJet from India, Malaysian airline, and also Garuda have started in October 2023. So there are a few methods of production of aviation fuel. I'm not going to go through in detail, but today I'm going to talk a little bit on this, the deoxygenation process. Well, this is one of these deoxygenation process by using jatropha fatty acid. I'm not saying that jatropha is the best, but just to show you, this is the one published in 2018. They can produce very high content of the C17, C18 actually, and the jet fuel range is C15. And they managed to produce both C17 and C15. Yep, right. So basically, we have quite a number of any type of oil actually we can use it to produce this biojet fuel. You can test. We have tested a few number of feedstock actually. Well, we would like to go to waste cooking oil actually, because this waste cooking oil consists of this fatty acid, and the price of this waste cooking oil is the most cheapest one, because the feedstock always being the most problematic problem, because it will determine the cost of the production. Well, the feedstock is expensive, then the oil that we produce is also very expensive. This is one of the publication that we have done, our research using calcium oxide and lanthanum, mixtures of calcium oxide and lanthanum oxide. Yep, and this is the structures. I don't have to go through. It's showing you that it's nano road structures. There's a cross link, and also we look at the acidity and also basicity of the catalyst, and we found that both properties is important, and the interaction of the calcium oxide, lanthanum oxide species on the support material, which is the activated carbon, induce the synergy effect that further enhance the basicity and acidity density, and also the strength of the catalyst itself. So this is what we produce, C11 and C15. Yeah, so both actually in the range of this what they call it, kerosene range actually, right? So showing that these catalysts also give up a very high activity to produce this biojet range material. So we have done some optimization studies on the catalyst, and we found that 3% with a temperature of 330 degrees Celsius and the reaction time of 3 hours, we managed to get a high selectivity of 82% of this, and the hydrocarbon 15, C15. Well, the reusability, this is important because this is a solid catalyst, and we found that it can run up to 6. Well, the number 6 is already reduced quite number. It's at least 5 times with the percentage of 70. And the selectivity up to 4 rand actually. Well, we have also studied another type of catalyst, which is a mixtures of nickel and cobalt as with the presence of ferrum oxide, so-called with the presence of ferrum, that we can easily remove the catalyst by using magnet. Okay, So this catalyst is highly acidic and produce quite number of C11. As we can see that the amount of C11 is the highest for one of the catalysts that we have studied, because we study different number of composition of this nickel and cobalt. Well, this particularly blue color, you can see that at the very high percentage of the C11. So, and also we can see what are the contribution, what is the product distribution component. It basically consists of some aromatic alkane, and we are looking for alkane, actually a paraffin, which is saturated hydrocarbon. They have also produced some alcohol and also ketones. Well, that is not our focus. We are focused on the alkane, a long chain hydrocarbon. And basically these catalysts with the composition of 0.5 nickel and also 0.5% of wet percent of cobalt with the presence of ferrum oxide, well, these give us the highest amount of paraffin they produced, up to 79%. So basically we have also looked at different type of oil, actually, because different type of oil determine also the content of the fatty acid, and because different type of oil, they have different type of fatty acid. So we found that this what they call it, palm kernel oil, actually, this palm kernel oil actually gave the highest yield with 91%, and the selectivity towards C11, C13, and C15 with a percentage of 77. And this give us the highest amount of this, what they call it, the number of C11, actually, which is because this is the most suitable, what they call it, sustainable aviation fuel composition, actually, because produce C11 the highest. And when we look at this reusability, yeah, we found that it can reuse maximum up to 4 towards about 80, almost 90% of the yield, and after that it reduced to up to 40 after 8 run, actually. Well, this is also show us what are reusability in terms of the number of carbon. So we can see that up to 8 run, actually, this is the content. So still showing that it gives us the highest amount of C11, C13, also C15 of this hydrocarbon. Actually, this is the range whereby very suitable for the sustainable aviation fuel or biojet fuel. Well, as I mentioned just now, there is only one type of liquid biomass that produced from oil palm industry. Well, palm oil meal influence, and by using this technology whereby anaerobic digestion, anaerobic bacteria digestion of this palm oil meal influence produce a lot of biogas, and this biogas actually consists of methane and CO2 and some of this trace amount of hydrogen sulfide, actually. Well, this is a mandatory in Malaysia, actually, to produce to collect the biogas, actually, because one of the treatment using the anaerobic bacteria will produce a lot of this biogas, and this biogas have to either we trap it, either you trap it using a canvas, as you can see from this Ulu Kanchong palm oil mill using a canvas, or in a closed system. This is another type of closed system by one of these company, Felda. They produce biogas, and this biogas, we can collect it, either we produce energy connected to the grid, or in how usage in the plantation, or in fact this gas, especially the methane, can be collected and bottled up, can be used as a cooking gas at home, actually. And this is one of the biogas capture by one of the company in Batu Pahat, Johor, and they produce their own electricity, and in fact the electricity have connected to the grid, actually, to produce the electricity to the supplier. So another, we are looking forward to another possible of consuming this biogas actually, because since biogas actually consists of 62% of methane and also 37% of this CO2, then this is actually a good composition to produce syngas actually by using dry reforming process. So normally this process using a noble metal catalyst, for example, platinum, rubidium, and rhodium, but this is very expensive and also very sensitive to the coke formation. Yep, that's why we are using nickel-based catalysts because of the high availability and also lower price compared to the noble metal, and it's also not too sensitive to the carbon deposition. And also difficult to prevent sintering of the nickel. And this is a result that we have, and we are showing you that we have synthesized number of catalysts using different method of preparation, and we found that most of the catalysts here is very active. Like you can see that it's more than 90% conversion of the methane conversion as well as the CO2 conversion. Yeah, there is one catalyst which is quite low, below 90%. Yep. And this is what I want to tell you on the another one is hydrogen. Another one, that one actually is production of syngas from the polymer, which is from the biomass, and this is from the biomass as well, but go through another process which is gasification process. We are working on catalytic biomass gasification as well as supercritical water gasification, and both system a little bit different. Well, one with a high pressure and one without pressure, atmospheric pressure. And this is one of the study that we have done by using a barium dop and using nickel catalyst as well. Well, we are using calcium oxide, and we managed to get this 5% of barium produce the highest amount of the hydrogen. Well, this one using this empty fruit bunch biomass. Well, and this is one of the technology, well, in the Malaysian Palm Oil Board in-house technology, which is a pilot plant using a downdraft fluidized sand bed gasifier, and they managed to get 40% of hydrogen, 30% of CO, and 10% of hydrogen. Not hydrogen, 10% of methane. Well, my conclusion before I end my presentation, the palm oil industry actually had proven to produce a vast supply of byproduct, not only the oil, the palm oil alone, but also some of the byproduct which is from the biomass, which is ready used for the future energy sources, and also the need to actively utilize the biomass palm oil is alarming. Hence, the concept of circularity in the palm oil industry will be able to create a self-regenerative system that will result in better sustainability. And the sustainability of the palm oil industry will significantly emerge a circular economy that will benefit the local community and also the stakeholders. And we believe that the palm oil biomass will contribute as an input resource which would widen the perspective for considering it as an output of the waste. And the biomass energy have proven one of the most promising environmental sustainable renewable energy source. Well, we can achieve the goal number 7 and also goal number 12, which is to ensure the affordable and the clean energy as well as the sustainable consumption and production respectively. And with that, I would like to thanks for your attention.
Okay, thank you very much, Prof. Taufik Yap Yun Hin. It is very inspiring presentations. Yeah, so I'll try to summarize the presentations. That the first things that the production of palm oil is very huge, so it is potential for producing the renewable energy, especially for green diesel and green gasoline and also green biofuel. So it is also has the contribution to the related to the sustainable development goals. That's very yeah, very good things, especially in Goal 7 and Goal 12 to ensure the affordable and clean energy and sustainable consumption and production. Okay, thank you very much. This is a very interesting and inspiring presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so we comes down to the second speakers, Professor Svetlana, Professor Svetlana Redner, please 20 minutes for your time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I just want to ask you a little question if you can see my presentation.
I think
Yes?
everybody can see your presentation.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, well, first of all, I'm very thankful for my colleagues from Sebelas Maret University for invitation for this conference. It's very interesting for me, and it's a great honor for me to participate and to present my recent study about green finance. Well, we already have heard at this conference about very promising technologies, and I would like to contribute and probably give some ideas how we can finance these technologies to meet climate goals. Today, it's already no doubt in expert community that achieving goals of decarbonizing the global economy and keeping climate change within acceptable limits is impossible without attracting radically large amounts of investments in the development of new technologies and modernization of global energy and transportation structure. The International Energy Agency estimates that about 55 trillions of US dollars will be needed to finance climate projects by 2035 to reach the global goal of limiting temperature rise to a maximum of 2 degrees Celsius. There is an urgent need to mobilize large amount of private capital to meet the investments requirements to achieve these climate goals of Paris Agreement and UN Sustainable Development Goals. Green bonds are one of the instruments used to finance environmentally friendly projects. The name of the bond indicates its main purpose. They were created to finance projects they have positive environmental and climate effects. Usually these kinds of projects are aimed at developing and implementing technologies that are at the very first stage of the development and are not still commercially viable. In this sense, green bonds differ from conventional bonds, which are called brown, because they have higher risk for investors. In recent years, the popularity of green bonds as a type of fixed income security has grown significantly, with green bonds in issuance reaching almost 600 billion US dollars in 2023 and showing about 15% year-on-year growth. However, the development trends of these markets are still unstable and are more influenced by political factors than just economic factors. The purpose of my study was to analyze the dynamic of the global green bonds market and the factors that have the most influence on it. The data of the study was provided by Climate Bond Initiative, It's an international organization that conducts market and policy analysis, carries out market development activities, advises governments and regulators, and develops and implements global green bond standard and associated certification scheme. In addition, climate bonds reviews green finance in instruments according to global taxonomy. My study uses the method of descriptive statistic and time series analysis and the methodology by which bonds are identified as green based on climate bond standard version 4, which uses transparent science-based criteria to evaluate investments and assets and provides investor confidence that sustainability requirements have been met for any certified issue. The first green bond were issued in 2007 jointly by the European Investment Bank and the World Bank. However, only after the International Finance Corporation used the first 1 billion green bond, which was sold within an hour of issuance in 2013, the global bond market began to respond to the emergence of green bonds. In June 2013, the state of Massachusetts issued its first municipal green bond. In October of the same year, Gothenburg issued the first municipal green bond. So it started to happen in North America and Europe. In November of 2013, the first corporate green bond was issued by a Swedish real estate company, and it was actually the turning point occurred in the market. Following these events, the green bonds market began its rise from about 2014 onwards and has closed each year since that at record rates. From January 2015, green bonds started to be listed on various trading platforms. By now, the number of such platforms reached 26. But in addition to green bonds, most of them also list social bonds and sustainable development bonds aimed in financing sustainable development. The latter correlate quite strongly with green bonds in terms of the criteria, but I will talk about that a little bit later. The majority of green bonds issued as revenue-based or asset-linked green bonds. The proceeds from these bonds are used for green projects, but are backed by entire balance sheet of the issuer. Green revenue bonds, green project bonds, and green securitized bonds have also been issued. To date, the countries with the largest cumulative volumes of investments in green bonds are, as you see, United States of America, China, Germany, and France. My country, Russia, ranks only 44th place in this ranking of 96 countries, and as you can see, Indonesia is doing a little bit better. The overall dynamic of the global green bond market over entire period of its existence is well described by a linear trend. At the same time, the situation varies by region a lot. As we see, European market can be described by exponential trend, whereas the T is a number of years since beginning of observation, and YT is the projected volume of issue. The dynamic of North American market is satisfactorily approximated by a linear trend, and for Asia Pacific market can be the polynomial trend can be used. The trends in African and Latin American markets have not yet been established and cannot be approximated by any of the well-known functions with acceptable quality. I can say that each year the number of the countries issuing green bonds increases Last year, such countries like Albania, Cyprus, Macedonia, Montenegro, Cambodia, Cabo Verde, Mongolia, and Uzbekistan has joined this club and first issued green bonds. The corporate sector participation in the green bonds market is dominant in last years, which is actually good because we need private investments. Together, financial and non-financial corporate sector accounted almost for 60% of total volume in 2023. The volume of local government placement remained flat year on year, around 11.5 billion United States dollars. The largest contributor in the last year was Queensland Treasury Corporation in Australia, which deal with the deal worth approximately $2 billion United States dollars to fund low carbon transport, solar energy, and water infrastructure development. As for the distribution of green bonds by sector of the economy, we can see the predominance of the energy, buildings, and transportation sectors, which generally correspond to the taxonomy of green projects in European Union and China. At the same time, taking into account new trends in the development of taxonomies of green projects, we can expect that in the near future, we will see the shift of the focus toward industry, especially those sectors in which it is difficult to achieve full carbon neutrality. For example, in October of 2023, the Bank of China, Luxembourg branch, placed a 3-year bond worth around 300 million euros to finance 4 projects for steel production in Hebei province, China. Although these projects are not formally eligible for climate bond certification, under the recently published criteria for the steel sector, they nevertheless demonstrate a very high level of reduction of CO2 emissions. So this transaction has been assessed as compliant with the climate green bond methodology. In addition to green bonds, the Climate Bond Initiative also monitors the global market for social and sustainability bonds, which are other types of ESG bonds. Social bonds are bonds those proceeds are used to finance projects that have a positive social impact. And the range of social effect taken into account varies a lot, from minimizing the consequences of COVID-19 pandemic to combating gender inequality. Sustainability bonds, as I said before, according to the Climate Bonds Initiative methodology, are bonds that also have a positive environmental effect, but also have positive social effect. Altogether. The global market for social and sustainability bonds is still far behind the global green bond market in terms of volume and number of transactions. Nevertheless, the issuance volumes of these securities are growing from year to year. And this is what is most important outside of Europe and North America. For example, last year, social bonds were first issued in Saudi Arabia, in Philippines, and Indonesia. And talking about the largest issuer of social bonds in the last year, it was Korea Housing Finance Corporation with the deal about 30 billions of US dollars, representing almost 20% of total global social bond insurance in 2023. It is important to note that finance from this issue were used to improve the conditions of living of many Korean families. Latin America has proven to be the only region where sustainability bonds account for the largest share of the ESG debt market and have been growing year on year over the past 4 years. The relevance of sustainability instruments for Latin America is driven, I think, by the region's unique social ecological situation, because Latin America encapsulates around 60% of terrestrial biodiversity globally, and as well as a huge number of marine and freshwater plant and animal species. Keeping biodiversity is very important for this region. At the same time, Latin America faces profound social inequalities, being the most unequal region globally. Talking about countries close to my country, Russia, about the post-Soviet economic area, and especially about the countries of Eurasian Economic Union, these instruments are still underdeveloped. For example, Russia and Kazakhstan have developed and approved a taxonomy of green projects. And also Russia has developed but not still approved the taxonomy of social projects, and there is no development in taxonomy of sustainable projects at all. As we know, the biggest barriers for ESG investments is underdeveloped regulatory framework, lack of certification schemes, because this lack can lead to corruption and using money not in a suitable way. And also it's a high risks for investors, because investments should go to innovative technologies in early stage of development. So what we can propose to overcome at least the last barrier, it's emerging artificial intelligence tools in finance scheme. Today, the use of AI in finance is a global trend, and some main directions are presented on the slide. And it is important for many countries, not only for Russia, but I think for many countries that are still in the early stage of ESG investments development, to develop IE assistants that help investors to understand the principles of ESG investing and help them to choose securities and assets with acceptable level of risks. Well, I think that's all that I wanted to say for today. Thank you very much for your attention and for invitation. And here's my contact on the slide if you would like to continue to collaborate in this area, maybe online later. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor Lana Redner, for the very inspiring presentations. I also pleased to have you as the speaker as well. So I'd like to summarize a little bit from the Prof speaker. The first one is that the green bond is a tool or instrument for financing project which is related to the environment and climate change. So this has been established in many countries, and lots of corporate institutions is involved in the green bond corporate yeah, including green bond corporate bank, financial corporation, and etc. So it has been implemented to the subject of low carbon transportation, energy, building, and etc. So there are three kinds of ESG bonds: social bonds, green bonds, and sustainability bonds. So, but there are also some constraints that ESG bonds is lack of clear criteria and certification, no regulation, and has a high risk. But right now, they are developing the artificial intelligence tool in the finance to increase the confidential in ESG investment. So that's all my summary. For the audience which would like to have the questions, please raise your hand or put your question in the chat box. And we have one question here from Professor Pranoto. Okay, the first question is for addressed to Dato Prof. Taufik. What are the environmental impacts of using palm oil for bioenergy, especially in relation to deforestation and biodiversity? And what are the main challenges faced in developing sustainable bioenergy from palm oil, especially in relation to social, economics, and environmental aspect? So it is any message to from Prof. Pranoto? Yeah, he has not been able to visit UPM. Okay, maybe we straight away go to Prof. Taufik for answering this question.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This is one of the main, I'm not saying this is a problem actually. I would say this is propaganda actually, because this propaganda to damage the industry of our oil palm industry actually. They're saying that there are deforestation and also biodiversity lost, especially on the endangered species which is orangutan. But this is not happened. I would say that in Malaysia, this has not happened actually. Because in fact, the palm oil industry actually, the palm oil cultivation actually absorb more CO2 rather than the original forest. In fact, also, the palm oil cultivation absorb more CO2 than produced by the fossil diesel. So this is one of the things. The second thing, when I look at the different angle, whereby this is always come from the West actually. This is always come from the West, and we are the country of developing country, whereby the West have lost the forest, and then now they enforce these other country to not to lose the forest actually. Yes, that is good, but then there is another problem whereby they want to protect their own economic, which is they want to protect the soil, the soil oil, and also the sunflower oil actually, because palm oil is very cheap. Palm oil, we can get it in huge amount. If you compare the list that I should show you just now, as compare palm oil per hectare, as compared to this the sunflower oil or soy oil, actually is a huge difference. And no other crop can compete our plant, our oil palm and chili. So this, I would say that this is something is propaganda sometimes, which without any scientific proven. In fact, some of the scientific study showing that the oil palm in plantation can absorb more CO2. You can find it in many of these journals actually. And to the second question, what are these impact of the economy? For sure, the society. Well, this palm oil have given a lot of this income for the society, for the people in the village, to more survival, helping a lot of our people actually. This is part of a main group to produce income for the people in Malaysia and also in Indonesia. So I would say that this is what I can share with you. Thank you.
Okay, Tom. Thank you. So it doesn't has a very high impact to the deforestation, right, Prof? Yeah.
No, I don't think so, because
Okay.
it can absorb more CO2 actually as compared to the original plant. I mean, forest.
Yeah.
This is scientific
Okay.
proven.
Oh yeah, but it has a very high impacts on the economic welfare.
Sure,
Yeah,
exactly,
yeah, that's
exactly.
the
We
positive
cannot
impacts.
let the people in poverty in Malaysia and Indonesia, isn't it?
Yeah, and we have a high poverty in Indonesia as well.
Yeah.
So it becoming the solution for high poverty as well. Yeah. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. Thank you, Prof. This is
Thank you.
also from Prof. Pranoto, and the question is addressed for Professor Svetlana. How can global climate policies drive the growth of ESG-based investment, particularly in the renewable energy and green technology sectors?
Thank you for the question. What I can say that actually, I think that ESG investment as a phenomena, economical phenomena, was created by climate policy, global climate policy. But a climate policy includes ESG investments, but not restricted to this. And the main instrument how climate policy influence ESG investments is what we will define as green projects. It's called Green Project Taxonomy, and it's actually a legal act that describes the taxonomy of green project in each country. It can differ from country to country. And as we see right now, like European Union countries, they have the most strict requirements for green projects. Some countries like Russia and Kazakhstan have less strict requirements for green project, but they all have these requirements. So I think it's the main influence of climate policy on ESG investments. Thank you.
Okay, so do you think that the ESG financial is more pro-infestation than maybe another financial scheme?
Well, probably for right now, it's one of the most developed scheme, and it's already is using globally. But maybe in the future, we will be able to find some more efficient schemes that can drive ESG-based investment.
Okay, so I think I have one question as well for Prof. Taufik, so and also Prof. Svetlana. You know that availability of palm trees to produce the green biodiesel is very high. It is enough for providing the use or the need for biofuel for the population. Is that how this is contribute to the availability on the production of the to change the biofuel for
Can I have a repeat of the question?
Yeah, is that the availability of the palm trees to produce the green biodiesel? It's enough for providing the demand for the fuel right
Currently
now?
is enough actually.
Yeah.
Currently is enough.
Oh, it's enough. So it
Yeah.
has a big challenge to exchange the biofuel to another.
Exactly, because
renewable energy.
we have a lot of what you call it type of feedstock actually. One of them is using the crude palm oil actually, but crude palm oil will be a bit expensive. Well, we can use waste cooking oil and another type of oil as well. So we have many choices actually. I'm only saying that oil palm is one of the most potential one.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it was potential for the future renewable energy. Yes.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay, thank you. So I also have one question for Setswana. So what is the advantage of the green bond compared to the traditional financial project for sustainability project? Okay.
Well, green bonds investments try to attract private capital. This is very important because even if all our governments will spend a lot of budgets for financing sustainable projects, first of all, it will be still not enough.
Yes,
because we need a lot of money
that's
to
right.
achieve the goals of sustainable development. And a second, we usually, we know that usually private capital works better in a commercial way. They try to invest in the most promising technologies, and very often private capital is right. So government tries to support the wide spectrum of technologies, and this is good from the point of view of society and well-being. But at the same time, like private capital, they find the most promising technologies and invest in most promising technologies, and this actually makes the whole economic cycle really work.
Okay, thank you. I think this is a raised hand from the online participants. From Pak Maslan, could you please, your questions?
Thank you for the opportunity. Assalamualaikum Prof. Taufik dan good afternoon Prof. Svetlana. Nice to meet you again in this seminar. And I have some question to Prof. Taufik about produce green diesel. I want to ask about it is feasible to produce green diesel from palm oil on community scale. Jadi, if you want to make some green diesel by community scale, this is possible to do it. This is the first question. And then the second question is, what are the key factors that should be considered with that when implementation in community scale?
Yes, Mas Lan.
Ya, Prof.
Sehat. Okay.
Alhamdulillah, Prof.
Well, when you have to go to a bigger scale, so for sure you need more catalysts, and also the equipment for the production is bigger. So currently we are working on the lab scale. So you have to go to another stage whereby you need number of catalysts. Currently we are using so many, 0.5 grams, something maximum to 1 or 2 grams of catalyst. Well, if you go for higher production, then you go for bigger furnace or bigger, reflux system, where you can heat up the material, the oil, as well as you have number of catalysts as well. Because when your size of the feedstock is bigger, then you must have a certain ratio of the catalyst to be add in during the reaction. So actually, is feasible. It's possible to produce a higher, because These have been commercialized actually. Some of these processes have been commercialized. That's why some of these airline already been using sustainable aviation fuel. They are production commercially actually. Yeah.
Maybe Prof, how about
in
community,
community?
Prof?
Yeah, in community for sure. You need a bigger scale of this, what they call it, the reflux system. Yeah, in the lab it's a very small one, a bigger one in commodity, in the
Okay.
community.
Thank you, Prof. Maybe sometime if I want to do it, maybe I will ask you.
Sure, we can
Maybe.
do it together.
So you can get,
Okay,
get the
thank you,
skills
Prof.
from the Prof.
Maybe like that for the time.
Okay. Okay, thank you,
Assalamualaikum
Pak
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Maslan. Is there any other audience which would like to raise hand for questions? No? Okay, I think we comes to the end of this session, and it is very challenging, very inspiring presentation, and a lot of ideas, technology, innovation from these speakers. And please give an applause for the very challenging presenters. Okay, thank you. And the time I return it back to the MC. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much, Professor Winnie, for leading the discussion for both our invited speakers, Professor Taufik and also Professor Svetlana. And now, before we move on to the parallel session, I'd like to give some announcement for the participants that the parallel session will start at 1 p.m. So that's why we would like you to prepare at 12:50. Once again, 12:50. And also, the certificates of participation. Once again, the certificate of participation will be sent to your email 5 days from now. All right. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, the second plenary session already marks also the plenary session is already finished, and we're going to move on to the parallel session. However, we're going to take a break first. And once again, 12:50, be ready for the participants, because at 1 p.m. we're going to start the parallel session. Thank you very much. I'm Albert Yono signing off. See you again at the parallel session.